Did you see somebody flying a drone? It wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
No?
Are you sure?
I'm sure. You didn't call CAA, did you?
No, I called the council.
G'day, welcome back to the channel. I've been walking for about 5 kilometres now. It's a lovely day and I love to do my walking, but thought I'd take the opportunity to discuss some things with you because I've had a few comments that are worth addressing, a few comments on the videos. Been a kind of a different demographic watching some of my videos recently, more camera drone operators, and I know that's annoyed a few of the traditional hobbyists who want to see anything other than DJI mentioned on this channel. But we've got to be, reasonable and realise that, well, all the news recently has revolved around DJI, so I have to mention them. And one of the comments also comes up over and over again is that DJI has ruined the hobby. If it wasn't for these damn drones, we'd still be enjoying virtually no rules, no limitations, no restrictions. People in the traditional hobby say that a lot. Some people, not all, but some. And I want to address that because you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. It is not DJI that has resulted in all these rules and restrictions being imposed on the traditional hobby. It's your national model flying bodies. I tell you now, they were supposed to protect us, speak for us, stand up for us. Instead, when the regulator said jump, they just said, how high? Oh, not over 400 feet, that would be illegal. So we have a situation where we've been sold out by national model flying bodies. They haven't represented our interests or our rights, haven't protected us. They've just gone along, fallen into line, which is not what I think they should have done. So how did this all happen? How did we get in this mess? Well, what happened was, of course, regulators, being the people they are, they don't want to do any more work than they absolutely have to. So when they were challenged or charged with the responsibility of regulating these newfangled drones, remember the DJI Phantom first sold in 2013, so that's 12 years ago, when drones came on the radar of politicians and so forth, the regulators decided, well, let's just regulate everything that flies and is remotely controlled. That includes model aircraft. And just about every regulator has expressed an opinion that the traditional hobby was never a problem. There was no problem with people flying, quarter-scale gas models of a Mustang near the local airport. It just didn't happen. So why did they throw them in? Well, it just makes life easier. You've got only one set of rules to worry about and covers everything. Now, this is where the traditional model flying bodies should have stepped in and said, no. You regulate drones all you want, but I'm sorry, we don't fly drones. We fly model aircraft and model helicopters and model gliders and all that sort of stuff. They should have said that, but they didn't. They just sat on their fat bums, collected the subscription fees from their members and let it happen. So I'm not totally happy with national model flying bodies. There may be exceptions, but the way I see it, the AMA, MAC, the BMFA, most of these national model flying bodies sat on their bums and let this happen. So don't blame DJI. They created a new hobby, a hobby of flying camera drones for different reasons, by different people with different skill sets. Blame the national model flying bodies for simply saying, oh yeah, that's us. Regulate us too. They should have said no. And I know that sounds like, oh, you can't say no. Yes, you can say no. We live in a democracy. We live in an era, these people, the regulators, they work for us. They're not our lords and masters. We should have strongly said, I'm sorry, but if you want to regulate drones, go ahead. But you're not regulating a hobby that you yourselves have admitted is not a problem. So they didn't do that. The national model flying bodies basically sat on their bums, and here we are now with incredibly restrictive rules and regulations covering everything we do with model aircraft. And it's not DJI that caused it. It's the national model flying bodies who are so girly and wimpy, they wouldn't even stand up to regulators when it was absolutely essential to do so. Okay, so we've been sold out. So what do we do? Because it's too late. I believe it's too late now. We have already shown our weakness. The regulators know we're a pushover. No one's going to stand up to them. The national model flying bodies, they don't give a damn. They're still getting their membership dues. And in the case of organisations like the AMA, they can exercise the privilege they've been given to get even more membership dues. You want to fly with that remote ID in the USA? You've got to join the AMA or some other CBO. So, because they've got freers. You have to use their freers. And they don't come for free in the case of the AMA. So, yeah, it's they've sold out for their 13 pieces of silver, so they're not interested in protecting your rights, giving you more freedoms, because they benefit from the restrictions that have been put in place. So they haven't served their members, they've served themselves. And that's why I say, don't blame DJI. Blame the national model flying bodies and their greed and their idleness and their unwillingness to get off their bum and do the jobs they were supposed to do. But anyway, I've ranted on long enough about that. So we've got to look at, what do we do now? I mean, what are we going to do when increasingly we're being confined to little grassy fields in the middle of nowhere? And this will also include camera drone operators. And I'll tell you why. Because the FAA, CAA in the UK, CAA in New Zealand, CASA in Australia, Transport Canada in Canada, all the regulators are now looking to clear the 0 to 400 foot airspace of recreational drone and model aircraft flights, because there are far more important things to take up that airspace. Delivery drones and advanced air mobility, which is flying air taxis, electric flying taxis. This is the future, they tell us. Shows you how little they know, really. Seriously, they have bought into the hype that's been rolled out. And we've seen these flying taxis companies, they're falling like flies now because the technology just isn't available to deliver on the promises they've made. So we're seeing them collapsing all over the place, and more will collapse. So many people will lose their shirts in that sector of the aviation market because we just don't have technology to do what they claim they're going to do. And eventually the investment capital dries up, they're not making any revenues, they go bust, people lose their shirts. So, but the problem is, regulators, not the smartest knives or not the sharpest knives in the drawer, and they're buying into this. They think, oh no, this is the future. And maybe it will be the future, but not the immediate future. However, they believe within a few years, skies will be full of air taxis and delivery drones. So there's no room for our recreational activities in the face of all this commercial activity. No, commercial activity comes first. So they don't want people flying their toy planes and their toy drones in the same area as Amazon's flying its 85-pound delivery drones, because a tiny whoop could hit one of the Amazon drones and it could fall into a schoolyard, kill children. Let's not worry about the fact that Amazon's flying an 85-pound delivery drone over a schoolyard. Let's focus on the fact that that tiny whoop is a danger to all those children. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem we face. So, what do we do? What do we do? We either resign ourselves to the facts that we are going to increasingly be corralled into small areas and pay for the privilege, or the hobby, as we know, is certainly gone, or the hobby itself just completely disappears. I don't know where we go from here. Honestly, if you've got ideas, go down to the comments and tell me. I'd really like to know what you think is going to happen in the next 10 years with this hobby. Because eventually these air taxis, the technology will catch up, then they will become a thing, and delivery drones will become a thing. And at that stage, where do we fly? Where do we fly? There's nowhere left. It's like goodbye hobby. Go back and play on your simulator, boy. That's all you've got. Or go to the AMA field miles from town in the corner of nowhere and fly within those strictly prescribed boundaries and no more. I don't know. I'm at a loss to understand I do know how we got here, and I'll tell you how we got here. It's because most people just don't care enough until it directly affects them in a very tangible way. Many members of organisations like the AMA, they just go out on a Sunday afternoon to the local club field and get their old nitro models out and talk about the good old days and sit around, and then maybe if it's not too windy or too calm or too hot or too cold, they might fly a circuit, and then they'll put the model back in the car and go home. They don't care until one day they roll up at the field. Oh, why is the field closed? Oh, sorry, there's now scheduled drone flights over here for delivery. You can't use this field anymore. You have to find a new one. And when you go looking, there aren't any. What do you do then? Only then will those members go, what's going on? Why didn't the National Model Flying Body protect us? And the National Model Flying Body is going to be going, oh, we don't care, we're rich, we go, bugger off. Well, I get that impression. I'm sure that won't happen, but you know what I mean. So, what do you do with these people? The 95% who expect everyone else to do the heavy lifting and then complain when things don't work out the way they wanted, because that's just human nature. It can't be helped. I'm not blaming those people. It's just human nature. That's the way everything works. All aspects of human endeavour. There's always that group of people that expect other people to do the hard work and then complain when things don't turn out the right way. So I don't know. Anyway, so I'm here on my walk, having a bit of a wander around. I might do some flying. Haven't done any flying for quite some time. Got Arnie as my spotter, haven't I, Arnie?
Hi, Bruce.
Yep, good man. And yeah, so it's a pretty good day today. My hands aren't too bad, but you know. Anyway, that's it for another video. Hopefully this stimulated some conversation and we'll get some talk going down in the comments there. I will be covering more DJI stuff if it's the only stuff on the thing, on the horizon, on the calendar. But basically, yes, I'm still a traditional old RC model flying guy. Well, I would be if I had somewhere to fly that was close enough. And still flying FPV. So yeah, don't worry, the channel covers all bases, hopefully. So thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Okay, I better go and see that guy, make sure he hasn't complained to CAA. You know, these things happen. Go and see what he's got to say.
Hello, my
Did you
friend.
see somebody flying a drone? It wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
No?
Are you sure?
I'm sure. You didn't call CAA, did you?
No, I called the council,
Oh.
and they didn't answer.
Oh, shame. So you're local?
Me, yeah, I stay down Waimate Crescent.
Oh, okay.
Down there.
Yeah.
Did you know, is there like a group of you?
Yeah, there used to be a really busy group, but a lot of them have drifted away. But there's myself and I think there's a couple of other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you meet up at all anyway?
We used to meet up down at the at Kinleith, at that wooded area down there and fly through all the trees.
Oh, yeah,
But Kinleith kicked us out.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, oh, it's like
Mate.
skateboarding, eh? These days, oh, you can't do it anyway. I'm not allowed to do it here either. The council will have my guts if they found out.
Yeah.
Hey. can I follow you with my drone while you're scooting? Can I follow with this little drone? Okay, thanks, mate.
Neat. All right, mate. Enjoy.
Okay, I'll see you later.